Okay, so now we're recording.
Perfect. Hi. Should we start with the introductions, I guess? I did have it all saved as far as what we're supposed to cover. So I
Oh,
have to click and view back here. I don't know where it happened, where it went. Canvas. Doom, doom, doom. Sorry. Pardon my pausing here. Team meeting 1. Can you guys still see me when I'm clicking, or am I off the Zoom screen?
Me too.
Okay. All right. Zoom. Okay, so first off, introducing. Should I just go first since I'm already talking? I am Jamie. I'm taking this online class. I'm majoring in psychology and then minoring in communications. And conflict management is huge, because we get into different types of conflicts all the time, and just like knowing how to get through those things ourselves. I've learned so much about myself already, but then being able to maybe help other people also be able to realize that and be able to live like higher quality of lives, being able to like handle conflict better, is I think great. So I'm taking this class. I live in Dallas, Oregon. Job or family. I work for a local hospital as a clinical technician. And then I have a 5-year-old daughter and my husband. So that's my introduction, I guess. Is what I'm supposed to name here. So whoever wants to go next.
I can go next.
Okay.
Or if you want to go.
Nope, go for it.
Okay. Well, my name is Dyla. I use she, her, and they, them pronouns. I'm a political science major. Graduating this year. I'm taking this class online because I like taking classes online because I like having I like being able to pace myself, and the online classes just really give me like the freedom to do work when I have like the time. Um, Although that online class course fee is diabolical. I live on campus right now. I'm a resident assistant in Arbor Park in the apartments on campus. My family's back home in Southern Oregon in Medford. There's my mom, my dad. I have 2 siblings. I have my sister lives in Corvallis, who's 25, and my younger brother who is I think he's 14. Yeah.
Nice. I do also agree with the online thing. That's why I take online classes too. I miss that
Mm-hmm.
part. Like I was telling Tiana, I do my stuff really early in the morning. I wake up or I stay up till really late in early, So,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love online classes. They definitely work with my schedule. I can do a lot more with them, and my family does a lot, so it makes it easier. Anyway, so my name's Tiana, so you guys know. My major is in psychology, minor in communications, which is why I'm taking this class. But it's also a very interesting class. Like Jamie was saying, that it just helps everybody in their life. So that's kind of fun. Um, yeah. And then I live in Bend, Oregon. So I'm like 3 hours from campus. I used to live on campus my freshman year, but then I just hated being away from my family because they'd always send me like pictures and screenshots and stuff of what they were doing. And I was like, wow, thanks, guys. So I
that'd be hard.
did. But yeah, so I moved back to Bend with them and yeah.
Nice. That would be really
That's
hard to be away
beautiful.
from the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Decide on conversation norms and preferences. I'm not for sure what that means. I don't know.
I think it's just like respecting each other's opinion and like I don't know,
Not
making sure
being
everybody talks and
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not being disrespectful, like your opinion is terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, just being supportive and constructive,
There's also a link to conduct and responsibility in team meetings, and then there's like a subsection about virtual meetings, code of conduct and norms. And there's kind of like already a list. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I read it. It looks pretty good to me. Pretty basic stuff. Pretty self-explanatory, I feel.
One thing I know about myself, I have ADHD, and like I'll end up in like butt in sometimes, and I'm like if I do that, it's not in like a disrespecting manner of like, hey, my opinion's better. It's a, hey, I also have a thought on that, and sometimes I feel myself like I can't not interrupt.
I think that's like
I
good
try
in
really
these
hard.
though. So then then everybody can talk, it kind of like helps the conversation go.
Yeah. If I do that, I don't mean it as a, hey, what I'm going to say is better. It's like hey, I also, agree or, so if I do that, it's not from a disrespectful place. I just have a hard time. Like when something comes in my mind, like I can't stop it from coming out. So, I try. Does someone want to start with things that stood out to you or surprised you or that you could relate to within the first couple weeks of class?
I would say we've talked a lot about like in the podcast and stuff, communications in a relationship. And that's something that I definitely need to work on in my life. That really sucks. Because I feel like I just like hold everything in, that I would rather just like keep going with my day than have a conflict come up. And
just kind of sweep it under the rug.
yeah. I'm just like, whatever, it'll be fine. I know I'm frustrated, but I'll get over it. Yeah.
It's bigger.
So it's just been helpful to like learn to like how to address things and like how to make the other person not feel attacked and just kind of like how to go about things.
Yeah, how to be more constructive versus destructive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I wanted to call you Dahlia for some reason, but I don't think that's how you pronounce your name.
It's Dyla.
Dyla, okay.
Yeah.
Is there something that has stood out to you so far, or something that
yeah, actually, from week 1, what really stood out to me was also I'm looking this way. I have another screen right here, and I just have my notes from like
it's okay.
from the weeks and stuff. But something that really stood out to me was the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse from the Gottman Institute. I thought that was really interesting. And when I was writing about it in our worksheet, I just kind of wrote about how it feels like such a simple task, like to like it feels like so simple to go like, well, when X is happening, do Y, but it actually takes a lot in practice and to recognize your habits in like during conflict and make a like active conscious effort to interrupt that so that you can be productive, so you can have a like more productive conversation. But I know that like I feel as though I have like good communication skills. So that was really interesting to learn about, so that when like conflict does arise, I feel like I earned like a skill that I can use now. So that was really important for me, especially because I work as a resident assistant on campus, and so I face a lot of like roommate conflict and like especially with like cleanliness and just people like living together for the first time and having to have like shared space. And so that was interesting to me, and like something that I will pass down whenever I come into those circumstances with my residents.
Yeah, that's great, because I bet you come in with so many different types of personalities. And being able to teach people how to coincide peacefully together. Like
it's really interesting because you can tell who grew up with siblings and who didn't. Like you can tell like who's used to sharing and who's not used to sharing. And I feel like that really like ties in with like when there is conflict, understanding that people have different experiences and identities and like that. And like it's just so it's really interesting to see that like in practice, like while you're actively in a conflict and seeing like, oh, like I can see that you're having a hard time living in this apartment with other people because you were an only child and you have to share anything. Let's talk about that.
Some culture shock.
So, yeah.
Kind of
Yeah,
hard
that's
just like getting thrown in there too, because like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm going to college, like I'm so excited. And then you're like, oh, I have to live with some random person that I've
Uh-huh.
met before, and I've never
Exactly.
had to share anything in my life because all I have is my parents. So then it's like, whoa,
Uh-huh.
that's a lot
It's
all at
really hard
once.
for some people. It's really interesting.
do they when they like group people together like in a dorm or whatever, do they do like a survey like as far as like their past living experiences or like trying to like match people up the best as
Hmm.
possible? Does that
Yeah, so there's
happen?
actually like I don't know what it's called off the top of my head, but there is I don't know, like an app. It's like Tinder for roommates, really. And you kind of just put stuff about your. I haven't had a roommate. This was my first year having a roommate because I'm in the apartments. But I only have one roommate. It's my best friend. So we didn't like go through that process. Usually the freshmen, they have this like I don't know the software where you kind of put like things about you, like when you go to sleep, when you wake up, like when you usually like like all these questions, and then you can just like message people, and then you can like I don't know, get to know them, get their like phone number or something, so you can talk more to them. And that's usually how freshmen find roommates.
Oh, that's nice.
But I don't know if there's like I don't know how hyper specific it is. There's definitely some roommate pairings that I'm like, oh, that should not have happened. But it's really just like honestly, at the end of the day, it's really just luck.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be tough.
Hmm. I mean, it's just such a funny concept to have to live with a stranger.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially if you're not used to living with anybody else, but like parents
uh-huh.
or, you know, it's especially because a lot of people, I'm 32, but I started school really late in life. But if you're like fresh out, like you say you're 18 or 19 years old and, you know, it's like, this is my first time like ever out of home, you know, and then
Hmm.
it's a huge learning process. Like I can't imagine.
You have to
Yeah.
explain yourself, and then
I
the other
hated
person
having just
also.
roommates that I even know, like when I was, you know, in my early 20s and whatnot. So, were you going to say something, Tiana?
Oh no, just with the conversation. But
Okay,
anyway,
your little box are lit up. So,
oh, no, what have you related to though, Jamie? What stood out to you?
so I I am a great communicator through friendships and like other and like tell me like when I'm talking to other people for some reason, like me and my husband, like I'm a complete learn about the fuser thing
Mm.
this week, causing my husband to stonewall. It's like learning about this whole stonewalling thing. We've been together for almost 8 years. And what she said, sometimes it makes you feel like you're falling off a cliff, like if you're in this like conflict. And I'm like, hey, you know, we're like, and I just reiterate things, I repeat things, I like do this like cycle. And
A whole circle.
I've known this about myself. Like I'll start from here and all of a sudden, like, but I'll like start repeating the same things, you know, and then he'll end up just stonewalling because it's just ridiculous, you know. But it's like something that's really important to me, but maybe is not, you know, or whatever. But learning, or like when you get out of a conversation, and I'm like, oh, I should have said this. Oh, I should have said this. And so I'm like, hey, and like, I need to not do that. Learning, like it's just so weird how in that like the romantic relationship, I'm not the best when it comes to conflict sometimes. I've known. And then just like learning like all like learning these things like in the like being able to be like in situation X, you make me feel Y, you know, and then Z, you know, and just knowing like what I should how to structure things better instead of just this cycle of and I have anxiety and I just start going off, you know, and it's annoying for me. So I can imagine why it causes this stonewalling, you know. But and then learning to do more perception taking, like how is this making you feel? But then also giving the mic and listen non-defensively because I do, like I said earlier, what comes to my mind sometimes just comes out of my mouth, you know, instead of so I need to like be less reactive in conflict and just allow speaking instead of uh, speaking out of turn in a non-constructive manner. And like listen less defensively, you know, would be good. It's just weird that in all other relationships, friendships, I'm a great communicator, I feel. But then when it comes to like I guess, romantic relationship conflict, I'm not good. I've
I
learned.
feel like I
And
can
now
really deal with that. With all my friends and like siblings, I'm like, I hate you, you're being annoying, get away from me. You know? And like they know that I love them, but it's like I've had too much and I'm done.
Yeah.
But like with my partner, it's like I can't say that because I don't want them to be upset now.
Yeah.
I have to be
So maybe
like,
it's just,
I need space.
yeah, I need to learn how to say that. It's weird how it's like opposite for us. So maybe it's just like the whole like, and it's not good, but like you hurt the people closest to you, you know, maybe because you're around them more often or they see you at your most vulnerable, you know, or like you can just let yourself out, you know, and not worry, you know, maybe it's your place of comfort, you know, but then it's also you have to realize like for me that it can be just like you need to be more respectful, not
Right.
be reactive and allow them to also talk and not be defensive, you know. It's just weird how it's opposite for us. Like with your friends, you're like, you're stupid,
Yeah, I'm
you
just
know,
like,
and then,
I'm done.
you know, your partner, you're like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like scared. Well, I feel like I feel more vulnerable with my partner. I feel like I could lose them. Whereas with my friends, it's like, yeah, I could not talk to them for like 2 months and then be right back to where I was.
yeah,
But with your partner, you're like always around them. So it's
yeah.
like I
You
can't
want
have
it to be a good, like, I can't just not talk to you for 2 months. You
yeah.
know? Yeah, it's yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. All right. Um, yeah. So The Godfather. I don't know, are we on to that now? I'm very structured, so I'm trying to like follow this list on the side of my screen. But conflict in The Godfather between Bon Sarah and The Godfather. Um, is that what we're on to next?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I kind of like jumped from this like really like personal conversation about us to let's talk about this movie. So
Just out of like full transparency, I couldn't get the captions to work on the video, and so I had a hard time understanding what they were saying. So I'm kind of working with a little less just to put it out there. So also because they have like an accent, so I was like kind of struggling. But just,
yeah, I was struggling
you
to get my
know.
captions working. Normally, I was listening to it on my phone. I had to rewatch it again because I watched it last week.
Mhm.
And I've never seen The Godfather,
Yeah, me either.
Same.
which and it's been around for such a long time. But I was only able to pull up my captions on my computer. I don't know if that is if you're on your phone versus computer or not. But
Yeah, I tried it on my phone, but then I tried it on my computer, and there was just no caption option on the computer, so
okay.
that was weird.
It's hard to understand that kind of thick Italian accent.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we might have to do 2 separate meetings.
To meet the 50-minute mark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I don't even know how long this has been recording. Oh, we have remaining 9 minutes and 40 seconds.
right. Well, it says
how
your
it
free
is?
meeting will end in 10 minutes. Need more time. Zoom Pro provides unlimited meetings or more. But I think we
Okay.
have to pay for the upgrade. So we might have to like
So we could stop it and start it. Do you have to end up like starting a whole new probably a whole new the address thing and the password?
maybe
Like to start a meeting?
once our 10 minutes are up, we'll see if I can record again.
Okay.
And
We'll
if
take an
not, then I'll
intermission.
just send out a new link.
Does it just allow 30 minutes?
I think so.
Okay. So we could just start with despite the similar economic intercultural communication differences, delve into the potential sources of their. I started with like the American fashion of doing things, which like relies on like police intervention, you know, and like the American justice system, you know, the police versus like the Italian way of just handling it themselves. And like the Godfather said, why did you go to the police and not to me first? You know, because like the Italians, they just, especially I imagine the mob just does things by themselves versus we rely on police, a lot of the times.
I feel like
The
piggybacking on
justice
that,
system.
there was like a lot of blame being thrown around. Like it was like a lot of you did this, and you need to be better kind of thing. More so than
Mhm.
like, oh hey, let's try and work together to figure this out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like a view of how people are supposed to relate to one another too. And like, where I wrote a note here. Like The Godfather, why should I help you when you have never wanted to be my friend? Never had invited me over. Like no friendship, like relational goals, I guess.
Yeah. On that, I feel like from Bonacera, I feel like his like interpretation of the relationship was transactional, whereas the Godfather's was more personal. Where in like those comments that he was saying, where he was like, "You've never invited me over. Like my wife is like your daughter's godmother, and you've never even like had us over for dinner or anything like that." Because he went there for like a service, and the Godfather was like, I feel like almost like offended by that.
It's like you just want to pay for my services instead of having a connection, which is where like Italian, they're just all a huge family. I feel like their family dynamic is a lot more like that's what he wants, like is to build this family. He's a mob boss or whatever, but
Mhm.
families versus you are just coming in here because you want to buy something. Like you're not even my friend. Like I would only do this for my friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want
I
to
feel
be
like Bonacera was like, oh, sorry.
No, you're okay. I was just saying like you want to feel included in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they have like incompatible goals, maybe where Bonserra wants justice, right, for his daughter, and then the Godfather just wants friendship, family. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
I feel like the Godfather kind of I feel like his I feel like he is more of depicts on like collectivism. Where I feel like Bonacera shows more of like individualism. And I feel like the Godfather was very much so like trying to kind of like I feel like he like showed that in the way that he was speaking to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bonserra definitely is like an individualistic mindset, individualism versus how can we all like help each other? How what do you also
Mm-hmm.
bring to the table? Like what can you do for me if I do this for you? And like showing him like respect and friendship, like when he kisses his hand, is
Mm-hmm.
showing that that's also what he wants, I guess. Like we can
Yeah.
start doing this now if you help me. It is so transactional, and
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he wants like more respect and like he wants him to understand his culture.
mhm.
It doesn't seem like he's fully there. And so he's kind of like, well, this is kind of what my expectations are.
It is interesting though. They're both Italian from the same socioeconomic status, but Bonserra went, to the USA, and him saying how America made my dreams possible. I forget what his exact quote was. I forget where I was going with that. ADHD for the win. So USA, versus Italian, even though they're both Italian, like you went USA route and then he stayed traditionally rooted. I forget where I was going with any of that. I had I had a thought and it escaped. I forget what I was going to say.
It sounded like a good
Sorry.
thought.
It was a really good thought. That's really bad. So, I like have this really good thought and then I'm like squirrel. So I forget.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, if you think about it, let us know.
Okay. I wrote notes and then I forget where I was going with my note. So go ahead.
No, it's okay. I just feel like since he moved to America, like they have different world views now, which is
Mhm.
kind of like where I said their cultures are a little bit different because now he sees the American culture. And um, that is very different from where he grew up and from where they're both from.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's kind of hard for him to come in and then them both have the same understanding.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I kind of wonder too, like in America, like we are sometimes are more separated, we're more divided, we're sometimes as intertwined with family or extensions of family, like I don't remember if I was in this class or my social psychology class, but talking about how we're more and more separated by moving away from our family and being separated, with single family homes and pushed back behind fences and all that, like in America, versus in like The Godfather again just wants his connection to him, like his friendship, his family. And like, I think moving away from Italy, maybe he lost that. Like, oh, I just need to go buy this service. Like
Mhm.
us Americans, like we just go buy what we need, and
Right.
that worldviews definitely did not mesh well, or those like cultural here, we just go buy what we need, versus there, like
Mhm.
they work together maybe, or I mean, I don't know, I'm not Italian, but yeah, him just thinking that he could come buy a service, like you're just gonna go change your tire, versus like you can't just buy my friendship or you
Yeah.
want me to go murder this person for you? Like, what did you ever
You
do
want to
for
go
me?
kill that guy? Just
You
so
want your oil changed? Okay.
nonchalant.
He's like, good one,
Why didn't
dude.
you come to me first? Because I was your last resort,
Yeah.
right? What I obviously mean nothing to you other than a last resort of what, like, why didn't you come to me first? Right? You
Yeah.
went to the police first and they did nothing for you, but now I am your last resort. Like, you never
Well,
talked
and
to me.
like somebody else already knows about it. So it's like, well, why would I want to do that for you if somebody else already knows about it?
Yeah.
Like, what does that benefit me?
I'm gonna put my guys out on the line or myself out on the line to help you
Yeah.
when this is already a known issue. Like, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have less than a minute. So I'm going to stop the recording and then
Okay.
see where we can go from there.